McGrath Goodman, welcome back. You've been keeping an eye on the ongoing Jersey child abuse inquiry of late. Can you give us your immediate thoughts on it?
Yeah, so I'm actually very happy to see that the Jersey inquiry is getting started. I think we were all waiting for it for a while now, and they certainly have beaten the United Kingdom, which is still struggling to find someone to lead their inquiry. And as we know, just in the last week, they had a lot of protests from the survivors over in the British Commonwealth. They were very upset because they did not feel that they were being listened to properly by the Home Office. So we're hoping Theresa May is able to decide on a chair and decide on a panel and do it with the greatest of transparency. Over here in Jersey, I was actually very pleased to see that they are doing open hearings. Anyone can attend them. And in addition, we are starting to see some very compelling testimony of people in the last few weeks from Hot Delegaron, which was the children's home that we were very concerned about. We are seeing some really serious testimony from people who had not just terrible violence, but they were forced to take drugs. They were, in fact, some of them said that their memories were erased if they had complained too much, and they were sent to another facility called St. Saviour's. We really would like to see that the abuse inquiry follows up with St. Saviour's and starts to get documentation about exactly what happened to these children when they were sent there. There are reports that some of them were subjected to electric shock treatment. Further, I felt like we need a lot more live witnesses at the CARE inquiry. We saw a great deal of, I know you saw it as well, testimony being read in from Operation Rectangle, which was the investigation into Hot Delegaron in 2008. But we don't just want to be reading things from 2008. We really want more people coming forward with a voice.
That would be good, because there does seem to be a distinct lack of live witnesses here, and the redress scheme. There's a lot of stuff being read out from the redress scheme.
The abuse redress scheme, yes.
And yeah, I agree there should be a lot more people. Hopefully there will be more people coming forward in the new year. Have you heard anything along those lines?
It sounds like there are still some people who are a little bit on the fence. And now it's true, the hearing room could have been made a warmer place. It is definitely made more for Judge Oldham than it really is for the survivors. I wish that they had done a better job making it a place where maybe people could feel a little less under the gun. It's hard enough to see your whole life in black and white, even if you've had a great life. It's really hard to see it if you've been through some very bad times. So we are hoping that they're going to be able to have counseling on site and some of the other things we've spoken of.
You mentioned the overarching CSA inquiry that Theresa May is trying to set up, or not trying to set up, whatever the case may be.
Yes.
Now, it's been said, there's a lot of us that have campaigned for and lobbied for the Jersey abuse inquiry to be included in the CSA inquiry. But so far we've been told that the information from the Jersey child abuse inquiry will be fed into the overarching CSA inquiry. What does that mean? Any idea what that actually means? It
sounds to me like Theresa May, whose terms of reference for her inquiry in the UK, by the way, are still up in the air and are still being heavily debated, but sounds like she wants to use what comes out of this and to sort of use that as the baseline for looking at anything that happened in Jersey. Now, she has not explained what that would consist of. Will they read it? Will they consult with Judge Oldham? I don't even know if they've been in touch with Judge Oldham, and of course she would have to decide, what role the inquiry should take. I think they would probably have to talk to each other at some point. But the big question is we know that there were multiple people from the UK, Leon Britton, Jimmy Savile, and Ted Heath, who enjoyed spending their time in Jersey, and in fact spent their time frequently in the vicinity of either Trinity or Hot Delegaron, some of them in both. And there was a particular hotel called the Water's Edge, which is still open now. And that hotel it seemed to be a gathering place for a lot of these high-level society types who may have been engaged in abuses of children. Inquiry in the UK needs to look at the fact that there are too many powerful people who were using Jersey as a place to go and may have been engaged in some of these activities. Now, we know that the inquiry here has already found that Jimmy Savile was quite active over at Hot Delegaron and also in general on the island with the young people. We have allegations of abuse against him here in Jersey. And I'm concerned that there may be not enough eyes on the connections between the UK and Jersey. The CSA inquiry must include Jersey. We only see connections. We see very few lack of connection and a lot of multiple connections. So yes, I would hope that no matter what happens, that the inquiry in the UK does extend to Jersey, no matter what happens with this particular inquiry.
Because I'm not over familiar with the terms of reference yet for the overarching CSA inquiry in London, but do you know if they're going to be naming people dead or alive? Because there's a couple of issues we've got here in the Jersey child abuse inquiry. Do you know what the terms of reference stand there with the UK CSA inquiry?
I think there's been an unfortunate lack of naming people who are still alive, even when they have been suspects and investigated and repeatedly accused by the same people or corroborating witnesses. We're having an issue here with that. The UK has not been any better at it. I think that both inquiries need to answer a very important question, and that is, for those who are alive and stand accused by many people and have not yet been prosecuted, but their names are in the public domain, are you going to name them? Because if someone is dead, they cannot be apprehended. And if someone is alive, they can still be brought to justice. So yes, we need to start considering under what conditions we name people who are alive. This inquiry says if their name is in the public domain already, we can name them, but they are not doing that. We are not seeing that. They're still redacting the names of those people.
Well, I know of at least two names myself that have not been named, who have been mentioned in the regulated media.
Yes.
That was
That was part of what they said needed to be public domain.
But there's two seemingly, allegedly prolific abusers. One a sexual abuser, allegedly, one a violent
Highly
abuser.
violent, yeah. And both far too close to children on this island.
But haven't been named yet by the Jersey child abuse inquiry. Their names, if they have been named in the inquiry, they've been redacted.
Yes, yes.
Well, why would they be redacting them? Have you got any?
Well, we are trying to find out now from the Jersey inquiry why these names haven't been named. I actually asked about this and we're still waiting for an answer. So Jersey inquiry, we hope that you will answer why you are not naming people whose names are in the public domain but who are known suspects and whose names have already been reported. I think we need to continue reporting their names.